why Steve Carell initially didn't want to return for the Office series finale. Steve Carell was hesitant to reprise his role as Michael Scott in The Office 2 full seasons after his character bid farewell to Scranton. However, when Greg Daniels began planning Dwight and Angela's wedding, he was determined to have Michael make an appearance. For many fans, Michael Scott's departure from Dunder Mifflin and the Electric City to start a new life in Colorado with Holly Flax in the season 7 finale, Goodbye Michael, marked the true end of the series. The following 2 seasons felt more like an unnecessary sequel or a high-quality fan fiction continuation. As the heart of both Dunder Mifflin and The Office, Michael's growth and closure in his final season were beautifully encapsulated in his tearful farewell, making his exit a perfect conclusion to Steve Carell's iconic performance. Yet, The Office continued for 2 more seasons. By the time season 9 concluded and the storylines wrapped up, Dunder Mifflin had changed so much that reintroducing Michael into the mix seemed almost impossible. Carell was initially resistant when Daniels approached him about making a cameo in the finale. On a recent episode of the Office Ladies podcast, Jenna Fisher explained that Carell didn't want to return because he felt Michael's story had reached its natural end when he left. For Carell, it wasn't just Michael's journey that concluded. It was the end of the Office as a whole. It was Greg's idea to have Steve come back, Fisher shared, noting that while Daniels had been planning the cameo for a long time, Carell wasn't as eager. Greg asked Steve fairly early in season 9, but Steve was reluctant. He felt like Michael's story was complete. Fisher continued, Steve didn't want to reopen that chapter, especially not after 2 years. He didn't want the finale to be about him. He felt strongly that his character had a proper ending, and this episode should focus on everyone else's endings instead of overshadowing them. Angela Kinsey, whose character Angela was at the center of the finale's wedding storyline, agreed, praising Carell's thoughtfulness. He's very gracious in that way, she said. Fisher explained how Daniels finally convinced Carell. Greg envisioned the finale revolving around Dwight and Angela's wedding, and Steve agreed that Michael would naturally be there for such an occasion. Kinsey added, I believe that. Michael would absolutely want to be there for Dwight and Angela. Interestingly, Carell's cameo was a surprise to some members of the cast and crew. Kinsey didn't learn about it until the day of filming. It was so hard not to tell you, Fisher admitted. You didn't find out until Steve arrived on set. Kinsey vividly recalled her reaction. The set PA turned to me and said, Steve is here. I said, what? I opened the door, and there he was, sitting in hair and makeup. You know, that reunion thankfully went far smoother than Michael's previous encounters with her as employees in hair and makeup. Especially on a wedding day.